I want to say welcome in a special way, Honorable Executive Director. We want to say welcome also. The DG is here, and he will afford you an opportunity to have some engagement, and so he will also speak to you. We want to say welcome in a special way.
Thank you so much. Once again, my name is Titus Tuba. I'm the founder and executive director of Media Information. Media owns and operates the Peter Cook School of Journalism, and it was established 2014, August 5. In 2015, March 16, we established or launched the Peter Cook School of Journalism. Since 2016 up to current, we've been able to graduate, train a little over 600 Liberians, Sierra Leoneans, Guineans, Ghanaians, and other nationals. The bulk of our graduates are into journalism. Some of them work from OKFM, the Liberia Broadcasting System, and they are all across the Liberian media landscape. So every semester we arrange a media interaction with major public figures, not just ordinary public figures, but people who are making impact in the country. So we bring our students to interact with them, and those people. Last semester we were at the LMDI in Carisburg. We interacted with John Colley. He's doing a lot of great work in Carisburg. And today we happen to be at the CSA, the Civil Service Agency of Liberia, where Dr. Josiah is doing extremely well in terms of his work. So Mr. Director General, we thought to bring our students here to interact with you. They want to know the work of the CSA, how you are arriving at these reforms, and what are the strategies you're using. So we give you the opportunity to explain to them some of the work, and then afterwards we'll open it up for interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Titus. I think I need to take this thing. Thank you, Titus, and it's great to see you again. You are doing a wonderful job. I've been following you since you established the Media Aid Foundation. I remember from the very start it was so tough, but you know, tough times don't last. Tough guys do. And I want to congratulate you for coming this far. Yeah, you made tremendous impact on our society, producing young professionals in the journalism field who are now contributing significantly, you know, to providing information to our public and helping us succeed in terms of disseminating our information and keeping the public informed and educated. So it's really an honor to have you and the entire team here. I'm so impressed this morning to see these young people, beautiful people, who are eager to learn and, you know, preparing themselves for the task ahead. It's wonderful this morning meeting all of you. On behalf of my colleagues, the two deputies, Honorable Smith and Honorable Mianyen, who are not here, they are attending to official businesses. I just told you that Honorable Mianyen is at the central engaging with our colleagues, and then Honorable Smith is out there having some meetings. But with me here, I have the head of communications, Mr. Swain, Joe Swain behind there, and the entire communications team. I have the special technical assistant to the Director General. Sometimes people refer to that as COS, but with the CSA, based on the kind of professional job we do, we really bring professional people and technical people in those capacities. So he is. And again, I want to welcome all of you. This is the Dr. C. William Allen Conference Room. It just used to be the executive conference room of the Civil Service Agency. But you know, Dr. C. William Allen, I'm going to begin with that, contributed a lot in terms of setting the stage. In fact, we refer to him as the, post-war modern public sector icon in our country. So the Civil Service Agency, recognizing his tremendous efforts from 2006 to 2013, introducing reforms in the civil service, some of which today we are only reintroducing and consolidating because everything broke down, for the past few years since Dr. Allen left. So we are standing on the shoulders of heroes like Dr. C. William Allen to be able to bring about the reforms that you see happening across our public service. So you are welcome to this great conference room. And I'm very pleased that I'm going to be having this interaction with you. It's going to be interesting. I want you to feel very relaxed. I want you to be comfortable. You've got some water now, but we just sent for some snacks because I know this is going to take a little bit of time. Yeah, so while we are here, we can have something to be munching on. But before we start, I want us to have an icebreaker. And this is how we're going to do it. I want us to take turns to introduce ourselves. You just call your name, and I know you are already with the Peter Kokwe School of Journalism. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wonderful. You call your name, and there are different fields in journalism that you are seeking, or all of you just want to be journalists, because we got print, we got electronic. Are some of you specializing in those areas? Okay, so we get to know that. So let's start with you.
So I'm Tyler D. Coy, and I want to be a reporter.
A reporter. Excellent.
Abel L. Farmer, want to be a printer.
A print journalist?
Sure.
Okay. Oh.
I'm Mohammed B. Bass, and I want to be a broadcaster.
Mohammed Ba wants to be a broadcaster. Excellent.
So I'm actually born both print and broadcast.
Oh, both print and broadcast.
I'm Patricia Faye, I'm going to be a broadcaster.
Excellent. Broadcaster.
I'm Zaina Dikuso, I'm going to be a broadcaster.
My name is Sarah Nishnabadi, and I'm going to be a broadcaster.
Broadcast journalist.
I'm Emmanuel T. Kamanda, and I want to be a broadcaster.
I'm Efrain Alvin Robert. I'm doing journalism with scripting and communication skills to the future for the public.
I'm Andy Kevka, and I want to be a broadcaster. I'm Lucas Smith, and I want to be a broadcaster.
Kevin CSA, I want to be a broadcast journalist.
I'm Calvin T. Blair, and I want to do journalism from a religious perspective.
Cool. Daniel D. Greatest Nunes, my name.
Kesinja Campo, print and broadcast.
And I'm T. Fitness Beast, and I'm going to be a broadcaster.
Baby Luis, I want to be a broadcaster.
My name is Prince, so I want to be a production specialist.
I'm Colin and T. Colin, and I want to be a health journalist.
I'm Ishmael Adrian, I want to be a reporter.
I'm Olivia Alexander, and I want to be a health journalist. I'm Sapita Johnson, studying journalism for mass communication broadcast media.
Okay. Can we give a huge round of applause to ourselves? You know, from your introductions, it gives me the impression that, you know, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Because all of you are definitely going to be professionals. You're not just going to be a journalist because you have a smartphone. No, that you got a smartphone and you can do anything, you can post anything, you can share anything, but you'll be doing it from a professional perspective, right? Yeah, and this is a way to work for yourself, your personal development, and your country. So I'm really excited this morning. Thank you for choosing to be who you want to be, a career path for yourselves. So, let me see those of you who have seen me and interacted with me before today. Raise your hand.
I've seen you, but I will not have the chance to interact.
In person?
No, it's an occasion.
Occasion, excellent, yes.
So I've seen you and conducted an interview of you concerning,
Oh, you are with Verity?
Yeah.
Verity is Martin Cody established?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, that's nice. You guys doing a good job.
I've seen you when you went to Tamati
For an interview. Okay, alright, wonderful. So it is an opportunity to meet the majority, those who have not interacted with me. It's lovely too. It's an honor for me to be interacting with you today. So you are here today to gain some understanding, because we can learn everything today, right? So gain some understanding, especially insights into who we are and what we do and the way we do the kind of job that we do here at the CSA, correct? Excellent. So my full name is Josiah F. Joekai Jr. I am the Director General, meaning I am the head of the entity. My other two colleagues, Honorable Danu Mianye, he is the Deputy Director General for Administration and Finance. He's currently at Central, as I said, engaging our colleagues there because we partner with 105 spending entities. We work with them to help them provide human resource related support. That is helping them improve the work of their personnel, making their personnel efficient, making sure that they hire the right people to do the job that their institution is mandated by law to do. The CSA has the authority in keeping with law, which I will explain to you what those laws are, to help all those institutions. And those kinds of institutions of government, there are 105 of them that we have that human resource support responsibility for, to give to those government functionaries. So, as head of the Civil Service Agency, I am here to lead, to support, and to facilitate. I am not here to exercise authority in a way that will reflect total control and dominance. Then the work will not be done. Then we won't even succeed because there will be total dissatisfaction, right? Misunderstanding, right? So for the last 1.5 years, 1 year, few months that I've been here, we've been working together in harmony with the entire team to make sure that the work of the government is done. The Civil Service Agency was formally established in 1973 by an act of the legislature. An act of the legislature meaning the legislature made the law to establish this institution. And the core functions of this institution include handling all human resource related activities such as employment, handling grievances and complaints, succession planning, capacity building, transfers, suspensions, dismissals, to work with entities to make sure they are done in keeping with law. That those human resources, we refer to them as transactions. They are not done by any entity arbitrarily. That is done based on wishful thinking, done based on personal malice or issues. No, it should be done in keeping with established laws, human resource regulations. And then that law says that the CSA is the chief human resource advisor to the government, meaning that even the president is the chief appointing power of the country. Chief appointing power of the country. So part of that appointing power is what the law gives to the CSA to be able to administer and to carry out across government entity. So it means that the president can ask the Civil Service Agency to advise on human resource related matters across the government. I gave you a classical example the last time. The Liberian Senate wrote the CSA and asked the CSA to do a review and analysis of the 2024 work permit. That's not my area, that's Labor Ministry work, right? But the Senate asked, because of the expertise that we have to share, because they asked other entities, other independent bodies to do that too. So as the chief human resource advisor to the government, the Senate, the House of Representatives, the President, all the people, the judiciary, as I speak to you, we are conducting human resource related assessment at the judiciary. You guys heard that, right?
Yeah.
At the judiciary. So you see, the judiciary, the Chief Justice asked the CSA to intervene. So our work cut across government functionaries, and it is in keeping with that 1973 law. And I always like to say this, I was born in 1973 too, and never even had the idea that at this time I was going to be the head of the entity that was born the same year that I was born, you know. So, but it's an honor to be. So some people argue, they say, but our 1986 Constitution established the Civil Service Commission as one of the 3 autonomous commissions of the government: the General Auditing Commission, the National Elections Commission, the Civil Service Commission. So why is it that we are still calling the Civil Service an agency? Because by now it is supposed to be a commission because of the establishment of the 1986 Constitution. Well, it makes sense. It really makes sense. But here's the thing. Article 89 of the 1986 Constitution established those 3 commissions, but indicated that the national legislature will enact laws for the governance, in other words, for the operationalization of those 3 commissions. You understand that? So, since 1986 till now, the national legislature has only enacted laws for the governance or operationalization of 2 of the 3 commissions: the General Auditing Commission and the National Elections Commission, and not the Civil Service Commission. So because of the absence of that statute, that law by the legislature, the 1973 Act establishing the Civil Service Agency is still in full force. That is why we are existing by law in keeping with the 1973 Act that established the Civil Service Agency. Now, what have we done as part of our reform efforts under my leadership? We have worked with the Law Reform Commission to draft an act for the governance or operationalization of that Civil Service Commission that was established by the Constitution. And we have presented that bill to the legislature formally, to both houses. We submitted to the Senate and we submitted to the House. But for the formalities, we submitted it officially to the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. Those of you who follow, and I'm sure you follow because you are media people, those of you who followed, you listened to the Speaker. He said we will fast track the passage of this bill because it's long overdue. Now, any of you, all of you around this table will understand what the Speaker meant. It's long overdue. It's true, because from when? 1986, since it was established by the Constitution, it has not been, the laws have not been enacted for its operationalization. So that is why we submitted a bill to that effect. And it's a huge milestone. Meaning, when that bill is passed and we have that law, this institution will no longer be called an agency. It will be called what? A commission. To enhance, to improve, and strengthen its authority and its independence. That will mean a lot. We will even go beyond the kind of reforms we're doing here to be able to improve the efficiency and the productivity of the workforce of our country. So that's the first critical piece of information I wanted to share with you, because historically you need to understand what our authority is, where it's grounded, what law is this that gave us the authority to do all the things we are doing. And once upon a time, you listened to the former speaker of this country when he said that CSA is illegal. And in fact, it's not supposed to exist because the 1986 Constitution established a commission which is supposed to be a commission. But we came and provided the clarification, and many legal people weighed in and said, but no, the agency is by law, because there have been no laws enacted by the legislature for the operationalization of the Civil Service Commission. So you need to understand that as journalists, historically. So now, okay, there's law, there's Civil Service Agency, but what has the Civil Service Agency been doing? a lot has been done. And we can speak a little bit to the post-war civil service, because I won't lie to you, I won't pretend to tell you I know more about the pre-war civil service activities. But the post-war, when Madam Salif took over as president, she appointed Dr. C. William Allen in 2006, who led the civil service agency all the way to 2013. Dr. Allen instituted so many reform initiatives, the PSMP, the public sector project, management project, the PSMP, and that PSMP encompassed several other government entities working together to improve the status of employees, to bring about satisfaction, to bring about motivation, and to enable them, do their job effectively and efficiently. And that project, to a large extent, was successful. That was led by, and that project was a total of $11 million. And they cut across government. That was huge. That's the first time in our country we started hearing about modern human resource related actions, strategies, and approaches. That is why we honor him. That's why we honor Dr. Allen. For that. But besides that, Dr. Allen brought the Top 10 program, the Senior Executive Service Program, where people who were professionals across the world, Liberians, in places like the United States and parts of Europe and parts of Africa, who were doing well at regional and global institutions, Dr. Allen attracted them through the Senior Executive Service and encouraged them to come back home. And they were able to come back to join him to improve our public sector governance. So many of those people brought about the kinds of reforms that we are implementing today. Some of the things we are doing today is not coming from directly our heads. They are things that were done before, but they broke down totally. Like, for example, testing. The testing process to make sure that civil servants are tested to know their capacity level, to know their competency, to know their professional background before they get a job. There has to be an aptitude test that is encompassing, not necessarily difficult, but just to know if they have some basic understanding, insights into the kind of job that they are seeking. And that is conventional, is global, is part of any merit-based recruitment process. So Dr. Allen initiated the civil service examination process. But that time it was done by pen and paper. You go and sit down and take the test, and then you have a group of people sitting somewhere who will mark the papers and determine your grade, whether or not you pass or fail, So that's one of the things he did. At that time it worked. Because that was the approach that was consistent with the time. Okay? So those things happen. But then for the last few years, like 6, 7, 8 years, almost everything broke down. The payroll system, people were just getting on the payroll who were sitting home and now working, and at the end of the month they receive alerts on their phones. They get salaries, that they don't work for, and there were people misplaced in the civil service. Some people, high school graduates, they in assistant director position, supervisory position, and so forth across the civil service. People paid, salary paid, flat rate, like 50%, 70% receiving $69.99, 70%, all of them jalan on $69.99 on the payroll, all of them receiving the same thing. So it's like a Billy Goat family, right? Everybody got beer. The son got beer. The first one got beer, the second got beer, the third got beer, everybody got beer. So you don't see any differences in terms of class. Okay, so it's good. We are all directors. We are all in the same grade, but we cannot be in the same class, because Director X might be highly qualified than Director A, by academic achievement, by professional background in terms of long-term service, who have been embedded in the culture and has all of the qualifications, the cultural fit, their values, excellent and aligned with the position and the institution's demand. You got people like that. So there has to be differences and there has to be gradations in salary as well based on our professional background. So we saw all those things. How can you pay people flat rate? You get 75 people, all of them making $200, 75 people, everybody, $200. Even if they are in the same grade, a few persons there supposed to be in a different class because of their experience and professional background. We saw that. We also saw that somebody having a high school certificate, and they are way up there in a position that brings about efficiency in the system. They are holding the position, but they cannot perform. Because in the first place, they have no idea what the core functions of that job is. Even if they know what it is, they don't have the capacity to perform. They don't have it. We saw all of that in the system when we took over. And so what we decided to do was to go and conduct an exercise called the Employee Status Regularization Project, ESRP. ESRP. That project enabled us to go across the country to each spending entity, and I've explained to you what spending entities are. They are the 105 government functionaries that CSA has human resource responsibility for. There are other government entities that we don't have that direct responsibility for. And those spending entities are non-revenue. Some are revenue generating entities, some generate, but majority are non-revenue generating entities, meaning that they rely on the national budget and they are financed through the national budget, their activities, their compensation for employees and everything. So we went to those spending entities. At that time, it was a total of 67,746 employees across, appointed officials and civil servants combined at the time. So we went across. We were able to interact with 40,072 total, 40,072 of the employees. So that was a little around 19,000 that were left that we did not cover. But the 40,072 that we covered, we had some interesting findings. For example, we had gender representation findings, and which was very interesting. Of that number, we have about 69% that constitute males, 69 of the total that we cover, and just 31 constituted females, meaning that there's a problem. The imbalance, the gap between male and females in the workforce. So, one of the things we said to ourselves, but then what we can do, there are more qualified females out there. But apparently there are issues that are affecting their participation, their recruitment, the way the recruitment processes are done. Maybe a lot of males targeting males, a lot of females shy to come even though they are qualified because they lack confidence that it will be higher and so forth. So we look into all of these factors. We say, okay, what we do, we create an equal opportunity for everybody. Since there is a testing process that is established by law, what we can do, we can improve it so that we reduce the human effort. That a group of people will not go and sit in one room, and decide that, oh, this is Esther. You guys don't know her? I know her. I know Esther. That lady, I know her. She cannot pass this test. In fact, we cannot give her this opportunity. No. Oh, Moses? Oh, yeah. Moses, that you know our man? That our man's son. Moses, yeah, that man. But Moses didn't do well. He said, my man, that our man's son, we cut all of that off. We computerized the entire testing process. Whether Moses that your uncle's son, Sarah that your auntie daughter, or your uncle daughter, everybody should have equal opportunity to go through the testing process. Once the person passes, that person's chances increase for getting a job as their male counterpart if the person is a female, as their female counterpart if the person is a male. Equal opportunity. Now, how does the testing system works? It's a computer-based test, meaning it is electronic. No paper, no pen. The link to register for the test is on the CSA website. And I will tell you today, one of the most functional and effective websites of the government is the CSA. What we are doing here right now, if you check tomorrow morning, you will see this entire thing on the CSA website. It's very active and up to date. You don't even have to talk to me to understand what we do, who we are, how we establish, and everything, our activities we do on a weekly basis, updated. It's on our website. It's up to date. So if you go, we have an e-testing page on our site. You go to the page and you register for the test. Instantly, your confirmation goes to your email. Your confirmation will provide you all the information, the date and time of your test, the room you will sit in, because we have 3 rooms here at the CSA. That's one of the things that we tour before you go, for you to see how the testing center looks. All right? So it will give you everything. On the day of your test, you enter the testing room, you already know your cubicle. The test administrator is there to explain everything to you, but not much, because your confirmation says a lot to you. And then we will screen a short video on the do's and don'ts. You will watch it. Things you are supposed to do and you are not supposed to do. We have security cameras all over in the room. We have a computer in a 4x8 cubicle. The size of the cubicle is like from this end to this end. For you alone, you and nobody sharing. And your high-speed performance computer is before you. The test is loaded. Once you put your code in there, your test appears to you. We have a bank of questions of around 8,000 bank of questions. Not developed by us here at the CSA, it was outsourced for the independents. Those questions, once you apply to take a test for procurement director position, because when you are registering, you will see more than 80 of those options. If any of you have taken the test before, you will see it. So you will decide which test you want to take, which position you want to take test for. Yes, if you click on it, the system has a way of generating 50 questions from the bank of questions. So it is not Jokai, it is not human being who will design the questions. The questions are there. The test will only pull those questions because of the position that you selected. Yes, they are strictly consistent and in line with the position that you select. And then you have 1 hour, 30 minutes to answer those 50 questions. The moment you complete your test, your results instantly go to your email. If you fail, you will see the results in your email. In fact, when you are done, you will get an alert. If you have your email on your phone, you will receive an alert. You go straight to your email and receive your result because it's confidential. It's confidential. You receive it. When you receive it, if you fail, you have 2 months to come back and take the test. If you come back the second time and fail, you have 1 year to come back and take the test. Yes, so you attempt 3 times. If you pass, instantly you also get your results in your email. And once you get the results, a second email follows with your certificate. It comes straight to you. That certificate is signed by the head of testing and is signed by the Director General. That is in keeping with law. Everything about the test is chronologically arranged in the regulations and the policy. So everything we do is in keeping with law, with regulations that govern the civil service. Every step, every action of us that we take is written down. We follow it like ABC. That's what we do. So when you take the test and you pass, what it does is that it increases your chances of getting the job. Say like there is an opportunity that exists, a vacancy that exists, and somebody who didn't take the test is competing for that job, and you took the test, you are competing for that job. Who really stands the chance of getting the job? The person who took the test and passed it, because what they have proven to us is that they have shown to us that they have some basic understanding of the job role. That's where we start from. And when you are registering for the job, you are registering with your academic credentials and professional credentials. You are uploading them. So even if you came in person to register, there's another opportunity. You can go downstairs and register in person at the center. They will help you to register. You will also have to upload your documents, because your documents will have to be consistent with the kind of test that you are taking. Because you will only pick the test that you know you got knowledge, you got skills for. That's the whole thing. If you know you got background in procurement, and then you will not go pick what?
PR job.
What?
Public relation
job. But no, I intentionally wanted to come from you. If you get background in procurement, you're not going to pick what kind of job? Public relation job, right? Will you pass? No, because everything you know about procurement, generally those things will come. You know, those things will come. There will be questions related to those in the field. And now when you introduce that kind of system, somebody, I just went to meet with somebody downstairs, and Tatos know who I went to meet with. I will not call their name. And the person is a Liberian. The person was asking to make recommendations. And I just told the person, oh, but you don't know about the CSA test. So the 3 persons you're recommending, they should do what? Go and take the test. And that's what we do here 24/7. Many people still don't understand. They say, can you find a place to shop my son? You know, can you find a place to put my son? We're not shopping. It's not no shopping. We ain't shopping nobody anywhere. Yeah, we ain't putting son, uncle, nephew, daughter anywhere. And it's possible that we can put them somewhere, but once they take the test, they pass it, and then we expose them fine. So what is the next thing we're doing with the testing process? People take the test. Your question will be, what next? After taking the test and getting the certificate, right? Okay. So as I speak to you, as of Monday, if you check on our website, you will see something called List of Successful Candidates. So every month, we already have the list of successful candidates for the months of July and the months of August. We are posting it on our website, and we are sharing the link with the 105 standing entities. We have a way of doing it because we connect with all of them through our HR system. We are going to expose all the successful candidates to those institutions. And if you remember, some of you in my July 28th memorandum circulation that was done, we indicated to spending entities that going forward, when you are submitting a personnel action notice to the Civil Service Agency, it should be accompanied by the certificate proving that the person has already passed the Civil Service examination. Any personnel action notice that's coming to CSA without the certificate attached will not be processed. So meaning we will continue now to send the names of successful candidates on a monthly basis to all the entities, so that if they're looking for procurement person, they already got somebody who passed the test, they can start to interview that person. If they're looking for, like he said, public relation or communication person, so they know that somebody already passed the test and already has experience, they can start interviewing. That is what we call the merit-based process. This is not about, it's not going to be about who you know. It's not going to be about what your relations are to you. No. It's going to be about a merit-based process. And we mean it. But you know, in our country, because of the kind of culture that we get, you know, those kind of things are difficult, right? Sometimes when somebody explains, you say, oh, it's just a fairy tale. Yeah, you say that, right? But no, it's not a fairy tale. It's a reality. We're not joking. We have it. And I just told you that you are going to see the testing center downstairs. We'll walk you through. And I've just exposed our website to you. You check it, you will see everything up to date, very effective. So that's one major reform we have done when it comes to merit-based recruitment in the public sector. Major reform. What is another reform we've done that you are supposed to know? The grievance and complaint management process. I tell you, if you ask civil servants now about job security, Some of them have been working for the last 5-10 years, some 8 years, some 15 years. If you ask them, what do you make of your confidence, your job security confidence now compared to the past, they will tell you, I'm 100% confident. Because you know what? We have strengthened our grievance and complaint management process to the extent that civil servants are very confident. They're no longer afraid. You can't threaten them with arbitrary suspension, with arbitrary dismissal, or, arbitrary transfers, when it's not supposed to happen, in keeping with regulations and practices. When we took over the Board of Appeal of the Civil Service, was not constituted for 18 years, and I'm not just saying the past administration, I mean 18 years, it was not reconstituted. Meaning that even if the examining committee examine cases involving wrongful dismissal, suspensions, or transfers, and adjudicated that or resolved that the complainant, who is the employee in question, was wrong and that the dismissal has to stand, even though they were not wrong, that person had nowhere to go. For 18 years, they had nowhere to go to take an appeal. No. Immediately we took over, we asked His Excellency the President to reconstitute the Board of Appeal. The President reconstituted the Board of Appeal. As I speak to you, we have received, since we took over, we have received more than 250 cases. More than 250 cases. If it is not wrongful dismissal, it's wrongful suspension, it's wrongful transfer. And as I speak to you, we have resolved more than 130 of those cases. And the results of those resolutions, the results, many of them, we asked the entity to reinstate the employee. Many of those employees have gone back to their jobs. They've taken their jobs. They've taken them. Some of the resolutions are pending. The cases have been heard. They are preparing the judgment, and for me to do the transmittal, for it to go to those entities, the head of entity, to tell them either that we uphold your decision of dismissal, it was right, it was in keeping with law, or we rule that you reinstate the person because the dismissal was wrong, or the suspension was wrong, or the transfer was wrong. That is happening. With that, as I speak to you, you cannot easily remove anybody from the payroll who you wrongly or arbitrarily dismiss. When you do it, we will have the examining committee will have to examine the case, render judgment, and if you are not satisfied with the complainant, you take appeal. If the entity is not satisfied, the entity also takes an appeal. It's for everybody. That is ongoing. Now, I know you are asking whether or not that is happening in Liberia, right? Yeah, you're asking yourself whether it's true, whether this guy just joking with us. The guy is just messing with us. I know some of you are asking. No, we're not joking. We're not just messing with you. It's true. It's going on. Again, I will refer you to our hearing section. You are all emerging journalists. Part of your investigative knowledge that you are seeking, I want you to take a day, and civil service agency is special. It's different because of the encompassing role that it has. Human resource management related role that it has. You need to take off time to come and go to our testing center. You need to bring them to go and talk to the testing people, the test administrators. I want you to gain more insight into what I'm telling you. Understand the specifics, the basics. You don't have to come, all of you. A few of you who are interested in becoming investigative journalists, reporters, and things, fact checking, go and check. Then I want you to also go to our hearing office downstairs. It's a whole place. You will see the room like this where the hearings take place, and which is independent of us, the CSA. As Secretary of the Board, my only role is when the judgment is rendered, my responsibility is to write a cover letter and say, Mr. Minister, and say, Mr. Chairman, or so and so, this is the judgment from the case involving you and so, and here is it for your action. I have no role to play. I don't take part in the hearing. If any of you being there, you have never seen me at any of the hearings. It's independent. There are people constituted outside of the CSA who carry out the functions. of our grievance and complaint management system. That is how transparent our processes are. Those are two major reforms we are talking about. Some of you have learned about our legal power of attorney, which is called LPA. When I was small, I used to call it Liberia Pay After. Even some of our parents that were benefiting from it, they were benefiting from something that they did not understand, they didn't even know. They too used to call it Liberia Pay After. I started saying Liberia Pay After because I heard my parents calling it Liberia Pay After too. But it's called the LPA. And what is it intended for? It's intended to help you solve problems without waiting for the month to end to get your salary. So through the legal power attorney, the LPA, an employee can walk to any store and be able to collect materials because the portion of your salary, 33%, that is exposed to you to be able to take loan, to be able to take anything that you can pay for. So an employee has the right to go to the store, and again, it is not us who establish the LPA. The LPA has been in existence for long, but there's something I'm going to tell you how we're transforming it. To go to the store, basically you have to go to the store, you go and get the invoice, the pro forma invoice. You list all the things you want to get. Then you take that pro forma invoice and bring it to the CSA. Then they got to check the payroll and see whether or not you got your 33% open or you have exhausted everything. Then it means that you're not qualified to check it. If you are qualified, then our welfare division will do a note and everything and get in touch with the business. Imagine all that headache. You are going to the business, you are coming to the CSA, or you are going to your HR to process for you. Your HR has to get in touch with CSA. CSA has to confirm. Our payroll people have to check to make sure that yes, you got a 33% and indeed you are able to pay back. So our leadership took an innovative step to save you all the headaches. We are 100% automating the LPA system. What do we mean by that? It is now an online system. All the vendors are on the platform. All the vendors. That platform now is going to be exposed to all the employees. It will be an app on your phone, on your computer, everywhere. Meaning you can even be in your bedroom sitting down. If you want to take 10 shovels from the store, you go to the platform. When you pull shovel, all the businesses that are selling shovel with their different prices will appear to you. You will choose the business of your interest to buy the shovel from. If Seti is selling it $2 and another store is selling it $3, well, it's up to you whether you will choose $3 or $2. You will pick the one of your choice. And you know what's going to happen? There's another level for approval. But before, what you used to do for that approval, you will walk to the store, you will walk to your HR, right? You're not walking to anybody anymore. If that's what you want, when you submit, it will go to the person who is responsible for reviewing. When that person submits, it goes to the vendor, and the vendor okays, it comes back. You will choose how you want to get your shovel. If you also want them to deliver your shovel, you indicate that they deliver your shovel. If you want to go to the store yourself, some people like to see. They say seeing is believing. When you finish doing everything on the phone, you want to go to the store, you go to the store. They say, oh man, your shovel here. Oh, but you asked us to deliver. You say, no, I only came to see whether that shovel, that real shovel became on the phone. And you know, yeah. So they deliver your shovel. That's how we are transforming it. And the way we're doing it, we want our people across the country, all civil servants across the country. If you are in Zozo or Salary Town, I'm calling those because those are my towns. That's where I was born. So if you are in Zozo or Salary, the store, just go to the store. If Seti gas store there, you go to Seti store. If another person gas store there, Eagle Electric gas store there, you go there. Because all of them will be on the platform. If you are in Bonjaman, or you are in Harper City, you are in Zwedru, the same way you get it. So we will provide that opportunity to our people seamlessly, that you are able to access the LPA platform and be able to do that. So we are transforming that. That's what we are doing. So the major one now that I'm going to tell you to start, then you'll be able to ask some questions privately, is the personnel and credential verification that is ongoing. The biggest one you heard about is the one at the judiciary, but there are even bigger ones to come. We have done the LDEA, the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency, just before the president made the changes. We went in there, it was sweeping. We reviewed the personnel files, we did the hair count, we took the pictures, then we verified the credentials, we did a comprehensive report. Can somebody get me copies of the reports from our office? Let somebody bring me copies of the reports of the past verifications we have done at the different entities. The new LDEA management was here. You guys know that one of the reasons why your meeting with me delayed. They were here in the office, all of them. And we had a very good discussion. Now we have designated a team that's going to work with them to implement all of the recommendations. Some of the recommendations are to reclassify roles. And some people got on the high school diplomas and the assistant director position. So we're bringing them down to where they're supposed to be. Yeah, you bring local report to. That's where they're supposed to be. Yeah. Some people only got diploma in the director position. And according to our regulations, you have to have masters. They don't even have bachelor. So we're bringing them down. So we are reclassifying a good number of people, their roles. That's one recommendation. For those who are in the ghost categories, we don't talk to the entity. The moment we are done with our verification and come out with a report, if we see lists of fictitious names, we don't tell the entity, we clear off from the payroll. We don't even tell you. We just take it off the payroll because we got the payroll. Yes. So we took those out. So how many, some people got fake credentials, unverifiable credentials. We found them in almost all the places we have done it. So we have done it at the Lofa County University. That one, yeah, we took out some ghost names, but the fake credentials were more. Those ones, we are dealing with those. We did at MCC, the Monrovia City Corporation, the same way. We have done it at LACRA. Today we'll be sending LACRA's report. No, tomorrow we'll be sending LACRA's report. We have done it at the Ministry of Post and Telecommunication. We just did it at the judiciary. Now let me tell you the requests that we have. We have requests to go to the University of Liberia. We are going to do the University of Liberia personnel and credential verification graciously. The president sent the official request to us. The president sent, yeah, these are some of the old ones, some of the new ones. These are some of the reports you see here. We'll do it, and this is the letter that transmit your report to you. You see here, that's the letter transmitting your report. It's a standard. You see here, that's the report. Everything that you need to know is inside. We send it to you. It's now we come and sit down. Oh, how many percent you think again? I think those people just send it. No. This is scientific. We come and conduct the exercise. We scan the documents. We take your pictures. We put everything in the system. The system has its way of generating the report. The credential verification is forensic. The credential verification. We get your credential. We scan it. And we also have a system that makes determination of the legitimacy of your credential from the seals that are on the credential. That's one. Two, we also connect with the institution that you obtain the credential from to authenticate whether or not they don't want to issue you the credential. As I speak to you, right now as I speak to you, we have 3 teams in the field at all the universities that we collected credentials for at the judiciary. As I speak to you, today they will be coming back to us with the list of credentials that were rejected by the universities and the list of credentials that were authenticated by the university. So this thing is not about who the person is. It's forensic. We get to them. And the moment we go to your institution, when we collect the credentials and we realize the number of credentials that we got from external institutions, we connect with them directly. So this thing is not an amateur thing. It's a systematic, it's a meticulous process. And what's the goal? The goal is to make sure that we do not have square pegs in round holes. Because when you have square pegs in round holes, you don't get the job done. People sit in those roles, in critical roles, they don't work. There's redundancies, there's irregularities, the job is not done, there's inefficiency, there's less productivity, and the government will not deliver. So, making sure that the right people are in the right places, you are having the right faces is critical. It's very critical. And that is a core function. Excellent. This is the Monrovia City Corporation report. You see it? We send this. Right now, they are working on it. We got somebody working with them to implement all the recommendations that are in this particular report. We have an Lofa County University. This is the report. You see how we read it? It's not a small job. You see documents? I beg you, start taking your friend and document picture. You see documents? These are documents. Look at these documents. I will be passing a quick way so you can take the picture. These are documents. You see, more reports coming from different entities. You see them? A copy of Monrovia City Corporation, copy of Lofa County University, the other one I showed you initially, and right here we got an LDEA. I gave it to them this morning. Yeah, the new leadership of LDEA. I gave it to them. So this is not a small job that we are doing here at the CSA. But would you believe if I told you that this process is not direct? There's no budgetary support for this? We don't have money to do this? Would you believe? I'm on video, radio. It's true. It's true. This thing we are going from institution to, and I must commend the government when we did the ESRP, the Employee Status Regularization Project, the one we went around, collected data, on employees across to know how many people now are ready for retirement and everything, and all the retirement going on is as the result of the data that we collected and knew the number of people who are ready or are eligible for retirement. The government supported that initiative. When we made a determination of what the gender representation looks like in the workforce, that was part of it, So when we wanted to know how many masters we got in the system, how many bachelors we got in the system, how many associate degrees we got in the systems, professional diplomas, high school we got in the system, the data, we collected that data across the workforce. It was through the Employee Status Regularization Project, and the government supported that. But after that project now, giving the outcome of the project, and we decided now to go from entity to entity to do this forensic stuff. This is strictly through what you call patriotism and pro bono. Because here sometimes we put together $50, $30 by ourselves here at the CSA and buy gas for the boss to take the staff to go and conduct these activities. And I'm very thankful to the heads of these entities, because when our teams are there, at times they provide them lunch. They do that, they provide internet service for them. I must commend them for that. But this is an initiative taken on by ourselves to clean up, strengthen, and improve our workforce. And our goal is not to be the biggest employer, but that's where it looks right now, biggest employer in the country. And that's why we keep emphasizing that more has to be done in the private sector to create more jobs so that we can relieve the public sector of the burden of employing more people. Because when you inundate the public sector, you make it inefficient. That's what you do. And that's our goal of reducing, the workforce, making it very efficient so that it is able to deliver to meet the mandates of the people to do effective service delivery. There's so much that the CSA is doing, but I cannot just explain all to you. Those are few of the critical ones, and I will leave the rest for us to interact a little bit, and I will turn this portion over to Joe. Oh yes, I'm also the chairman of the President's Young Professionals Program. The board. I'm the chairman of the board of the President's Young Professionals Program. And you know, that is a program now that is a major pipeline of bringing professionals into the workforce. So many young people have come into the public service to strengthen the public service through the PYPP. And I'm glad that the President is supporting this initiative. The government is supporting the PYPP. The PYPP gets its support from diverse supporters, different partners, but the government of Liberia, you know, being a President's initiative, the government of Liberia is also supporting the PYPP, and it's one of the best professional institutions that's mentoring, that's training, and that's producing young professionals that Liberia is significantly benefiting from. This Liberia model now is being replicated in other countries. It's been replicated in other countries in Africa. And you know what they do? They come here. They come here, we talk to them, they understand what we are doing. That's one of the things that I do. I am also the chairman of the Health and Public Service Network of Africa. So we had a meeting here in Liberia in March of last year. Other countries came here. And we reasoned together how to work together to integrate healthcare workers into civil service systems. You know why they chose Liberia? Because Liberia is way ahead in doing that. For years, health workers, educationalists have protested back to back about coming on the payroll, about not being paid, about their welfare not being sought. But one of the greatest things this government is doing is bringing those healthcare workers, those educationalists into the national payroll system. Those people were only paid by international partners, so they were at their mercies and at their disposal. So how come they will be performing government responsibilities, delivering services on behalf of the government to the people, but they are not paid by the government? So those people were protesting, but now this administration says no. As I speak to you, we have 2,000 personnel action notices from the Ministry of Education alone. We have processed 458 and sent them to Ministry of Finance for allotment creation, and we are going to put them directly on the payroll. The remaining amount, we are processing them to the extent that our people are working on Saturdays and Sundays. Volunteer teachers across the country to put them. We have received 2,000 personnel action notices of those professional volunteer teachers who are already embedded into the culture of teaching, the education culture with the requisite, the relevant experience and professional and academic backgrounds. We are bringing them in. It's never happened easily in our